I know a lot of people want to look for things to blame and look for news, and everyone's mad, whether it's meme lawn or anything else. At the end of the day, it was going to happen anyways. Listen, there's opportunity. That opportunity doesn't mean buy the dip when there's fear in the blue. People were buying the dip all the way down to 3K and getting wrecked.
Yeah,
so that you don't just buy the dip.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the largest crypto channel in all the interwebs. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in crypto. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Guys, today, I sat down with the best buddy of the channel, Crypto Face, the creator of Market Cipher, to figure out where Bitcoin is going. And guys, here's the thing. Right now, things for Bitcoin are not looking great if you're only hodling. But the fact is, you can learn to trade, and if you want to short the market and bet it goes down, might not be a terrible time to do that. I'm still not in shorting mode myself yet, but if you're interested in trying it, you can go to bitboycrypto.com/deals, and you can go to the ByBit or Femex links and sign up if you think the markets are turning into a sea of red. But one thing's for sure, regardless of where it's going in the short term, we are very confident that Bitcoin will bounce back, whether it's in this cycle or another one. When in doubt, zoom out. So let's check out Crypto Face, see what he has to say about the markets. Hey everybody, today I'm joined by one of the greatest mask wearers out there, Crypto Face, the wearer of the mask, the master of the charts, the creator of the Cipher. Face, things are looking crazy right now. Welcome to the show, but really, let's just get into it. What in the world is going on right now in crypto?
Man, this weekend, I actually, it's been a busy weekend with like fights and events and all kinds of stuff. This weekend, I really didn't trade at all and didn't even think about it. And the honest to God's truth is because the new World of Warcraft expansion came out. And so me and my brother, and you only have like 4 days, dude, until everyone starts raiding and like you have to get to max level. So it's been crazy. So I've been playing World of Warcraft. In all seriousness, yeah, dude, I mean, reality can set in, and it just, the way things are kind of sucks. I've been watching some other like YouTubers just to see what like people are saying, some like the smart guys, and a lot of them talk about on-chain, let's look at some on-chain analytics. And, I'm sure there's good info there and stuff, but I feel like there's just a lot of people saying nothing. That on-chain analytics ain't giving nobody answers. Meme lawn is my new name. I came up with meme lawn, and all these big smart, people came down to Miami and they got dumped on. Bitcoin's been printing head and shoulders on all different time frames, really good ones. I saw some this weekend. I was like, dang, like I should short this. But right now, trading right now, things move fast, and so like you have to be attentive. Here's the good news. Okay, the good news is, when Bitcoin wicked up to 19K and came right back down, we basically knew that anyone who said, yeah, I sold it at the top, I sold at 19K, that they were lying 99% of the time, like they're full of it, right? But this time we were over 50K for a really long time. And I know there's pain out there, and there's pain, and there are losses, and there's blood in the streets. But I think there's a lot more people that have wisened up and learned and taken profits. Not everybody, but I think it's calmer still than last time. And I think there, we spent a lot of time up there, and there's always the next bull market in 3 years, so time goes by fast.
Well, I mean, I think the thing about that is right now it doesn't look good. Like, I gotta be honest. When we're looking at the volume, the volume is extremely low. Every time Bitcoin starts to make a move up, the volume is not really there. And that's a big problem. People don't seem to be buying Bitcoin, in the same rates. What I will say is the thing about the 2017 market that peaked at 19,000 or approximately 20, closer to 20 than 19, but depending on the exchange, there was a reason why nobody sold the top, because no one thought it was a top. And that's been a hallmark of every Bitcoin top in the history of the cycles. So the idea that this one, it goes up there and it just sits there and lays stagnant for like a long time, and a lot of people sell, a lot of people get out, like that doesn't seem to be reminiscent of anything we've ever seen with Bitcoin before, because the euphoria was not the same place, because a lot of the money that was pumping Bitcoin up was corporate money. It was institutional money, not the traditional retail blow off top, which I feel like we never have seen. I mean, do you think there's any chance it's going to come back this year?
It can, like, it's still, there's still time, and there's still like repetition patterns where Bitcoin drops like this and goes crazy and then boom, does like take off. Like that scenario is always in play in some percentage. But do I see the signs of it coming right now? No. I know, for me, my internet's down today, by the way. Of course, right, it's right when you messaged me, right when I was talking, I was like, dude, my internet's still down for like an hour today.
The whole internet is down everywhere. I guess you're aware of that pretty much.
No, okay. So this whole corporation, like these corporations and big firms are buying, and so it can't dump if that's happening. Like, won't that help things stay afloat? And I have to disagree. Corporations and investment firms get dumped on every single day. You hear about it. There was just that, what was it? Goldman Sachs liquidated, was it a Chinese guy? He was one of their biggest dudes, hold their biggest books for $10 billion, liquidated him. My numbers might be wrong, but their biggest dude, I don't know if you heard about that. You should look at it. It just happened. Big firms get wrecked every single day. Yeah. And there might be more corporations than the last time buying, but they ain't buying that much. And you can't forget who holds the power. And I know a lot of people want to look for things to blame and look for news, and everyone's mad, whether it's meme lawn or anything else. At the end of the day, it was going to happen anyways. And just stay out of like the news and try not to flop and grope. I think there's a lot of people out there that sold over 50K. And listen, there's no money like short money. So you have to be a little more attentive, a little more careful, take your profits, but they come fast. And so, yeah, man, there's a lot of Bitcoin loves picking patterns and repeating them on all time frames, whether they're time frames that everyone knows about or patterns everyone knows about or patterns that makes up. And I'm seeing head and shoulders everywhere. Obviously, there's a big kahuna one that might be forming. That's scary. I don't.
What chart is that on?
The daily, all the big ones. The daily, the 2-day, bro, pull it up. Yeah. I mean, it's a big one, and potentially there's money to be made though. It's like, what do you want to do? Are you a hodler? Do you really believe in the technology? And so that means the price will go up forever. Then hold for another 3 years. If it has to happen again, you did it before. All these people did it before. Everything was fine and dandy. When we went up to 10K, we were happy as hell. So we went up really fast. It's the motion of the ocean. And everybody was talking about Dogecoin at dinner. What'd you expect? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. The meme bubble in the middle of everything. I think this is what it boils down to. We know what happens when people hold Bitcoin. You make money. Like, that's every person ever as of about 2 months ago. We had 64K. Everybody who had ever invested was up. But then, of course, the numbers jump up so quick. Now, a lot of people are down. But the stats prove if you hold for 4 years, the market comes back up and you'll make money. So it's like in the short term, I think what I'm picking up from you is in the short term, just if you're doing trading, like just enjoy where you're at the moment. Like right now we're at a place where it looks like prices are going down. Take advantage of that if you want to short. and things like that. But then in the bigger picture, like everything's going to be fine no matter what happens over the next, 1-2 months up to 3 years.
Yeah. As much as I've like kind of, I'm not going to go down that path, but there's people like Cardano, there's a lot of hope for. Like, there's hope. There is hope there in the industry. And you know what? Like it depends on your goal and your perspective. Like if you're trying to trade, then now is a amazing time to learn and play small time frames. You got to be careful. Like that doesn't mean you're looking at the 5-second whacked out, staring at your charts the whole time, but sometimes it does. You got to kind of just gauge it. Like when you get that confident, just look when all of your indications are pointing one way or 80%, that's when you take the shot and you get out and you start to see things change, or you get out, a quarter at a time, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, boom, you're out. So, different environment. Dude, the last trade I was in, I haven't traded in like 5 days. I think it was last time I was trading and I was streaming it. There was a point where I was down like 350 grand.
Yeah. And,
I held it, came back up, and I ended up making like 30,000. But
you didn't lose 350K.
That isn't fun, dude. It ain't fun. And yeah, man. So be careful, and everything's gonna be okay. If you're new and you're getting hit, you're getting wrecked. Like we've all been wrecked before, and everything is gonna be okay.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great message. Everything's gonna be okay. This guy. All right, Faisal, listen, thank you for jumping on. Everybody really enjoyed you on Around the Blockchain a couple weeks ago. Can't wait to have you back on that show. And, definitely want to get you more involved in some regular content here on the channel so people can look for that. You guys make sure to subscribe to Crypto Face. It's down below in the description. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Thank you, man. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll try not to be such a hog for time. I know I can go on tangents, but listen, there's opportunity. That opportunity doesn't mean buy the dip when there's fear in the blood. People are buying the dip all the way down to 3K and getting wrecked.
Yeah,
so
true.
that you don't just buy the dip. Like find 4 indications that you like. Just type in random letters on TradingView and learn. That's what I did. That's where I learned everything I knew. Just type it in random letters on TradingView, see what kind of stuff would pop up. Some of it's terrible, some of it's great, and then you make your own stuff. So have some fun with it, but don't be a fool. Don't be risking stupid money unless you're experienced. So yeah, man, thanks for having me on. I love you, bro. And yeah.
Absolutely, man. Love you. And to all the audience, make sure you guys drop down below in the comments. What do you think? What do you think is happening right now with the markets? Do you think things are positive? Are you buying the dip, or are you, thinking it's going to go down much further? You don't want to catch a falling knife? Drop those comments down below. That's all we got. Be blessed. Good boy out.